Good morning, afternoon, or evening. Your video is about to start. I wanted to remind you of our newer Wednesday, 1 p.m. live stream Q&A on all things Social Security. Visitors are welcome to post a question in the chat, and I'll do my best to answer it. It's on a first come, first serve basis, so please get there on time. Otherwise, if you care to be a member and get some different kinds of perks, feel free to click the join button below or just click it to learn about them. Anyway, I hope to see you Wednesday. If not, enjoy the video. Bye now. TGIF, happy Friday, and a big shout out for Red Friday for our deployed military members who can't be home like most of us can. So anyone who wants to give them a big shout out, please do. It's funny, I am doing this kind of late in the day, the fraud law review for an upcoming Friday, probably tomorrow. And I noticed this the other day when I was reviewing it. There has not been an OIG press release regarding fraud and all that other stuff since September. And we are now into late October. And it dawned on me, well, of course, the shutdown, right? So when we're talking about what gets shut down and what doesn't, we know that customer facing kind of essential operations for our beneficiaries and our claimants, including payments, of course, but also adjudications within the SSA have not been shut down, which is proper and right. And I'm extremely grateful. And I think it is appropriate that this kind of thing, this kind of reporting would take a back seat. So I was kind of glad, like if I saw it running, and I hadn't really thought about it, I'd be like, really? We got a shutdown. Granted, it's not hurting 99% of the people. It's kind of innocuous for most people, but there are some. I do think it's kind of appropriate that if you're going to cut something back and be something like this, which, by the way, they can catch up with later. I mean, it's not like, it's just the reporting for the, to go up on the website. It's not like prosecutions are stopping. So anyway, so I'm dragging up one of the later ones they did, and I'll do a few more of those. Okay, so this is in Pennsylvania, of course, my current state, not the county, not the state I grew up in, which was Jersey, but been my home state now for 22 years, I guess. And this is in Bradford County. Now, the funny thing is the title of the story is Bradford County Man Pleads Guilty to Wire Fraud. They don't even mention the Social Security theft. So let's get into it. This is out of Williamsport, so it's the Middle District of Pennsylvania. The fellow pled guilty, so I am going to feel totally free to mention his name. If he had not pled guilty and he was only charged, I have a extreme respect for the due process of one is innocent until proven guilty by a court of law under proper due process. So this is Richard Burke, age 76. That's pretty pathetic, of Milan, Pennsylvania. And he pled guilty just a few days before this was issued. I think he, in like September 20, pled guilty, I guess. And this report is from September 26. So he was charged with wire fraud, but it says according to, that's what he was charged with. According to, I guess, the officials, from April 2005 until March 7th, 2022, that's a really long time, Mr. Burke withdrew over $350,000 of his deceased mother's Social Security Retirement Survivors and Disability RSDI benefits and Veterans Affairs death pension benefits from her bank account. I'm sorry for the dogs. I'm sure you can hear them. I don't have my headset in because I'm kind of in here for a short period of time. Hope you like dogs. Anyway, his mother died in 2005, and of course, no other individual was entitled to any of the benefits designated to her. It wasn't like a survivor could take on after that. We don't get to keep our parents' benefits going. Mr. Burke used his, now why am I calling him Mr.? I don't know. He doesn't necessarily deserve that respect. I'm going to say it. Dick Burke, my father's name was Dick Joy, so I could say this. He used his deceased mother's bank card to make regular cash withdrawals over the years following her benefits deposits, never notifying the U.S. Social Security Administration nor the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs that she had died. Now, we've talked about this before. Do you have an obligation to tell when someone dies? Not really. I mean, it's a free country, and you don't have to report other people's death, per se, just by the mere fact that they died. Short of some other statutory basis where you must, like if you're a doctor doing CPR, I'm sure you have to report it. Or maybe if it's a child and it's your child, things like that. Things we already have an obligation, but usually people do because they specifically want this off the plate and they don't want anyone stealing their loved one's benefits, but not Dickie Burke. Okay, so And please, if anyone has the name Richard and or does not go by Dick, you know I'm just having fun here. Like I said, my beloved father was Richard Joy, and his name, he started preferring being called Richard in the later years, modern times, I guess, but he was Dick Joy my whole life until maybe the last 10 years. And of course, I still thought of him as Dick Joy. Okay. This was investigated by the SSA and Veterans Affairs, Office of the Inspector General. We go on to note that the maximum penalty under the federal law for the offense is 20 years and a fine. And the sentence for this offense may also include a period of supervised release following imprisonment. So the maximum is the 20 years. So does that mean he has to get any? A sentence following a finding of guilt is imposed by the judge after consideration of all the applicable federal sentencing guidelines and the federal sentencing statutes, as well as the guidelines. So his sentencing has not yet been scheduled as per this date. I'm curious, he is an older fellow. Will they not do prison time? You know, we're never getting the money back, right? The fund has been stolen from and it's not coming back. I don't know, unless he stashed it someplace, which he didn't. But I know we've had this discussion before, like it's not a violent crime, blah, blah, blah. But at what point do you make it painful enough where other people are deterred? And I think that's an important part of the penal code is deterrence. And we know for a fact that slaps on the wrist are the exact opposite of a deterrent. I think they actually encourage more of the crime because it's very lucrative and the risk is very low of any big problem. So anyway, I thought that was interesting. I hope to see the shutdown end very soon because I've noticed that a lot of the states are so dependent on the federal government. And it's funny because they're very frivolous about a lot of things. And I think it's because they get federal funding for so much that they can then go pee away their own monies that they should be properly conserving, growing, saving, rainy day, etc. Shutdowns are threatened every year, it seems. And once every few years, we have one. So this isn't an unforeseen thing. So why are some of these states and their NGOs who so profit from, even though they're nonprofit, profit from the free handout from the feds and probably the states to run their practices? Why are they not doing better? Why are you unable to survive after a month of no handout? Curious minds want to know. Okay, and I'd like to see states buck up and be a little bit more independent and not such little pansies under the federal government. Thoughts on that, guys? I know some of you will probably disagree. I'll talk to you later. Bye. If I can figure out how to turn this off. Have a great weekend. Hello again. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was helpful, if not just a little bit informative. In the event you have a Social Security question you want addressed, please feel free to make a comment below and ask the question, even if nothing to do with this particular video. And just a quick, again, reminder, we have our daily video shares and tips around noon every day of the week. And on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have our live Q&A session where you can come in live and enter your questions in the chat. And we all pretty much have a good time for an hour or two. I look forward to seeing you there, hopefully. And lastly, don't forget about our benefactor memberships. They're very reasonably priced. The first one is very nominal and you get a few perks, but on a bigger scale, it contributes to us being able to fulfill a mission of assisting certain people with representation that would otherwise not be able to get it. We look forward to continuing to do that. And so far it's working out like the bomb. So thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Bye-bye now.